If you're sick of playing the level 7 roll down lottery and enjoy playing brain dead TFT comps, you need to be playing Moonlight Diana. I've always rated Moonlight Diana very highly on my weekly meta snapshot, which is posted every Friday on my website. And in this video, we will review why we should be playing this composition, how to play it, the champion choices, and the itemization. What's up, guys? I'm BunnyMuffins. If you enjoy tier lists, composition guides, or TFT commentary, I post videos 3 times per week, so go ahead, hit the subscribe button and the bell notification to get notified when I release each of these videos. If you guys didn't know yet, there's a huge patch coming up next week, which will pretty much destroy all the roll at 7 compositions. They are drastically lowering the 4 cost chosen odds, which means that you can just play this tried and true slow roll composition such as Diana, while everyone else is struggling to figure out how to optimize and play the most popular builds during the next week. You could also just play this composition right now. It's still really strong now, but it's also going to be strong in the next patch that drops next week. So how do we play this? Here's the base build of Diana. It's very flexible. You only really need these 3 units, Lysandra, Diana, and Pyke, and we'll go into what you should be adding later in the video, so be sure to stick around for that. In the beginning of the game, you will want to grab a chosen Moonlight, and only chosen Moonlight. That's the only chosen trait that I would recommend running this composition for. You could run it with like Assassin Diana, but it's not really that strong because you need to hit 3 different 3-star units, which doesn't happen that consistently. So I would just not even attempt that. Only go for chosen Moonlight, and it could be on either Diana, Lysandra, or Sylas, but preferably you're not playing Sylas. The only time you play Sylas is if you hit 0 Lysandras and you have a 3-star Diana already, and then you're like, all right, let me level up and roll for Sylas instead. I'm going to say this one more time because it's just that important. Do not go for this composition without a chosen Moonlight. You will only be able to play this composition in around 20% of your games. The good news is that you could almost use any items for this composition, so if you do hit the chosen Moonlight early, you could still force this composition even if you have terrible items. Now, very important, at the start of the game, do not level up. Since we are doing what's called like a slow roll leveling strategy, we will want to have as large of an economy as possible, and we also need to maintain low levels. So we do not press level up until much later, until we hit both Diana and Lysandra 3-star. And we also do not care about our health total. Since we're not leveling, we're going to be pretty weak, but that doesn't matter. We're going to be low health. We're going to be getting the items that we want on each carousel, and we're going to be preferably lose streaking. I generally commit to Diana's compositions no later than the carousel during stage 2, which is stage 2-4. So during stage 2, you will want to buy all the Moonlight units in your shop, preferably some assassins as well, while maintaining as much interest gold as possible. This can involve open forting if necessary. So open forting essentially means giving up the fight in order to make interest. Typically, you will have your chosen Moonlight and the other Moonlight at 2-star, giving you a 3-star Moonlight in the early game. If you don't have that, it's okay too. You just run 2 other random units to round out your level 4 composition. Once you accumulate 50 gold, which typically occurs around stage 2-7, you'll want to roll your gold until 53 gold every turn. So now you might be asking, why are we rolling down to 53 and not 50? Well, because if you roll down all the way to exactly 50 and then you find a unit that you want to buy in that shop, you'll miss out on 1 interest because you need to buy that new unit. So throughout stage 3, as you stay at 53 gold at the end of every round, you'll go up to like 60 or 63. You just roll down a couple times, buy all the units that you need, and then rinse and repeat that until you hit 3-star Diana and 3-star Lysandra. During this time, you'll also want to grab Assassins and Dazzlers. So what I really like to run is stuff like Lux, Pyke, Akali, or Talon. So a sample team at level 5 is Diana, Lysandra, 2 Assassins, like Pyke and Akali, and then 1 Dazzler such as Lux. And again, I'm going to stress this, do not level to level 6 during stage 3 unless you somehow hit the Diana 3-star super early, in which case you just got really lucky that game, but go ahead, try to make the most of that game, try to get first place there. So during stage 4, you will need to find a time to hit your 3-star Moonlight. So if you are less than 2 units off the 3 stars, meaning you have 7 copies of Lysandra and maybe 7 copies of Diana, or if you have super low health, such as like 30 life, go ahead and all in sometime during stage 4-2 or 4-3 and roll down until you hit both Moonlight champions to 3-star. After that, you level up to level 6 and then try to power level all the way up to level 7 or 8, depending on what units you can play and what your health is at. If you have less than 7 copies of each Moonlight at the start of stage 4, you'll need to all in at either stage 4-5 or 4-6. During stage 5, you will want to rebuild your economy to reach either level 7 or level 8, and then from there you can try to go something like 6 assassins or 2 adepts for frontline or 4 dazzler. If you need more help with leveling, check out the leveling guide. I go over a little bit of hyper roll there, and pretty much I have a chart that tells you when to level, and hyper roll is pretty easy. In this chart here, you'll just pick the latest times to level up for levels 1 through 7. Now that you know how to play the composition, let's go over the champions. So, as we stated before, we will want at least 4 assassins and 2 dazzlers. The rest of the units can either be more synergies or more legendaries, such as 6 assassin or 4 dazzler, or just any random strong units. I've even gone like Mystic in some games too, because I just wanted to get some magic resistance for my Diana. And if you do get Assassin Spatula, which is one of the best items in this composition, go ahead and put it on Lysandra. If you're only running 4 assassins with the Assassin Spat, go ahead and drop Katarina and Akali. For positioning, notice how we have Pyke on the corner here. That is because he needs to be on the side to get a bigger stun. The positioning of the other units do not matter as much. You'll just want to be jumping to the side where your opponent's carries are. So if you see your opponent on the left, you want to put Diana and maybe another assassin on the left-hand side as well. Now onto the itemization. The only items you really care about are Diana items. The rest of your items can be team support items. And again, many different builds work on Diana, which is great about this composition since starting items do not restrict this comp. My favorite combination is Infinity Edge and Double-Handed Justice, doing like a full damage build. However, this build is often hard to get since it requires a lot of gloves and it's a little bit less consistent than other builds. Something that's more consistent would be something like Hextech Gunblade, Titan's Resolve, and Quicksilver. If you look closely, this build does not require 2 of any particular item component, which makes it, again, super flexible because you just need 1 of each item. In general, you will want 1 Chain Vest item, which can be either Titan's Resolve or Bramble Vest. You absolutely need at least 1 Chain Vest item to live against the Hunters and Talon. The other 2 items we can play are almost any combination of Hextech Gunblade, Quicksilver, Handed Justice, and Infinity Edge. I prefer having at least either Hextech Gunblade or Infinity Edge, but if not, that's no big issue. If you can't get 2 of these items, Dragon Claw and Ionic Spark are also playable, but they're not preferred at all. Good support items for this team are Assassin Spatula, Chalice of Power, Zeke's Herald, Locket of the Iron Solari, Zephyr, and Shroud of Stillness. If you want, you can also itemize Lysandra with a blue buff or Jeweled Gauntlet if you want a secondary carry. Essentially, the only unit that matters is Diana, so that's why we prioritize the support items after getting 3 Diana items. I've always been a fan of this composition because some games you just want to turn your brain off and slow roll. It's also a very easy composition and it's also very strong. The only drawback is that you can't play it every game, so whenever I get a chance to play this, I go for it. It's also a strong comp at every level, though I will say it works better the higher you go. The reason behind this is because at lower levels, a lot of lower ranked players like forcing slow roll builds, so you might be really contested if you're low elo. However, once you climb, this composition gets better and better. That's the quickest guide you can get for playing Diana. If you guys enjoyed this or learned something, or if it helped you climb, go ahead, hit the like button as that helps out my video and my channel a lot in terms of growth. YouTube just likes that. I don't really decide the rules, but that's what they tell me to do. And if you know any of your friends are struggling with TFT, go ahead and link them this video as well because they might find a new comp that they didn't know about before. The meta hasn't really changed much this week, so I'm not too sure if I'm going to be updating the meta snapshot on Friday. But we definitely will need to look out for next week because there will be a ton of changes next Wednesday because there's like a little mini mid-set update. They call it like set 4.25, but we'll see what actually comes out there. But I know the biggest change they're making are the chosen odds that we talked about earlier. I hope to see you guys there and good luck on your climb.